Story 22 today, Samuel and Eli. You know, as his people lived in the land that God promised him, the Lord provided two vital offices to help guide his relationships with his people. They were priests like Eli, and they were to lead in worship of God. And then there were prophets like Samuel. And the people went to Samuel to have him help them understand the relationship with God. So Eli, the high priest, he oversaw the more permanent place of worship than the tent of meetings. It was a temple in Shiloh. And it was kind of patterned after the tabernacle that was originally built by Moses. So Eli was very old and probably mostly retired, but he had a couple of sons that he allowed to help him in the temple. But the only sad thing about that was they didn't know the Lord, so they were very evil in their dealings with the temple activities and the people. And during that time, a woman named Hannah was praying to God to give her a child. And she promised that if God did allow her to have a child, she would give him back to him in service. Well, God heard that prayer, and he sent her a son, and that son's name was Samuel. Now, when he was weaned, she took him to the temple, just like she promised, and she left him with Eli. So, one night, God called Samuel, and Samuel thought it was Eli calling his name. So he ran to see what Eli wanted, and Eli didn't call him. And he said, "I didn't call you, Samuel." So after two more times, Eli realized that it was God who was speaking to Samuel. And Eli told Samuel that when he heard this again, to just respond, "Lord, what do you want with me?" God told Samuel that, and he also told Samuel that Eli and his sons, there were going to be a change. He wanted the two sons taken out of the temple. He told Samuel that Eli's sons were going to die because of their evil behavior. So it was because of their disobedience that Eli and his sons would be removed from the Lord's service. Now you probably wonder, well, why Eli? Well, Eli was a man of God, and he knew of his son's behavior, and yet he didn't do anything about it. So he was as guilty as his sons. Samuel was a good prophet, and he spoke for God. He took Eli's place, and he kept the Israelite people from people worshiping God and offering sacrifices to him. So Samuel and Eli were two important figures in the life of Christ. And as we move on, we're going to talk about a lot more about how disobedience plays a part in the redemption story. I'll see you next time.